All right, so welcome to my credit funding. This channel, this platform is all about credit education, helping you improve your credit score, your credit rating, so you can get a better mortgage rate, so you can get a better interest rate on your personal loan or your next car loan, and so on and so on, and also to help you get a secure business funding. So if you're in the process of starting a business, you want to launch your new idea, we can help you in terms of giving you the information, the strategy, and the education on how to secure that credit funding. Okay, so that business funding. So let's get into it. So we're going to talk about how to repair your credit profile, right? Because that's a hot subject, because a lot of people are looking for information in terms of how to repair their credit profile because their credit has been damaged in the past and they're looking for a way. Now, when it comes to credit repair, improving your credit profile, it's all about education and information. So you have to know the process, the procedure, and how to go about it. So that's what this video is all about. I'm going to show you the steps, the process, the procedure, and what you can do to begin the process, because credit repair, credit profile, when you start repairing your own credit, it's very complicated because you don't know where to start, where to go. So you have to know where to get the information from. So let's get into it. Okay, so when it comes to credit repair, fixing your credit, you got to know that there's two credit bureaus in Canada. Okay, so now the first credit bureau you have to know about is Equifax, right? So Equifax is one of the credit bureaus in Canada, and then the second credit bureau that you have to be aware of is TransUnion. So these are the two credit bureaus in Canada that you need to go and get your information from. So the first step when it comes to credit repair, when it comes to you fixing your credit, is you have to pull your information from these two credit bureaus, so Equifax or TransUnion. So which means you're going to have to either call TransUnion or Equifax, or go on their website and get you your free credit report. So that is the first step. The first step is for you to get your free credit report, because you are entitled to a free credit report every year. So you have to call TransUnion or you have to call Equifax and get your credit report. Now, once you get your credit report, you're looking at your credit report so you can see if there's any inaccuracy, if there's any wrong information, or if there's any information that should not be there at all. Okay, because it's very important, because when it comes to credit report, these credit bureaus like that I just mentioned, for example, TransUnion and TransUnion and Equifax, these they're not there to protect your information, right? They don't serve you, they serve the lenders, right? So it's very important that you have to go and check your own credit report to see what's on your credit report, so you can begin this process. Because if you don't check what's on your credit report, how are you going to know what needs to be repaired, right? Because we're talking about how to repair your credit profile. So the first step is you have to go to Equifax or TransUnion and pull your credit to see what's in there. Now, once you pull your information, you want to look for some information that should not be there, whether it's an account that you've already paid off and is still reporting, or whether you have a wrong address, or you're still using your previous address. So you want to begin amending or disputing this information. Now, how do you dispute? The best way to dispute any information on your credit report that is inaccurate, right? So any information that is inaccurate, any information that should not be there, is you have to go to either of these two credit bureaus, so either TransUnion or Equifax, and there's a form that you got to fill out, right? So once you get this form, there's going to be you got to fill in some information, such as your date of birth, your address, and so on. So now, once you get this form, you fill it out, and then there's going to be a section where they're going to ask you what it is that you're disputing. So you have to let them know, okay, I'm disputing on a wrong address, or I'm disputing an account that I've already paid, it's still showing. I'm disputing that there was an inquiry, or somebody, there's an information that should not be in there, so on. So you have to list that on the form. Now, once you get that form, it's very important, do not fax it to them. You got to certified mail it, right? So you have to go and actually go to the nearest post office and just send it as a certified mail. Why? Because when you send it as a certified mail, whatever post office, Canada Post, or whoever is delivering it, then somebody's got to sign it on the other hand to make sure that it was received. So very, very important that you do not fax the information, and that you do not go on their website to file the dispute. You have to print the forms and then mail that form. So you got to send it by certified mail, so that way it's guaranteed that somebody actually received this document on the other hand. So got to remember that. Go on their website, print the information, fill in the form, and then list whatever it is that you're disputing, whether it's a wrong account, something that should not be there, or an address that is wrong, and so on and so, and then you mail that. So certified mail. Okay. All right. So we understand that there's two credit bureau, Equifax and TransUnion. Okay. So the next thing that you need to understand is this. Okay. Because you are disputing information that should not be there, or information that is inaccurate, or information that's that's been there for too long. So now when it comes to these credit bureaus, every data is kept on record. So everything that you do, late payments, anytime a account goes to collection, it's kept under data. So what you're looking at is this, right? Anytime you make a payment, or actually anytime you miss a payment, right? So if you miss a payment, now a late payment is considered, so let's say you miss a payment that's 31 days, right? So now they only, your lender, so let's say if you have a credit card with Capital One, you have a credit card with TD and so on, so they will only report a payment when it's 31 days past due. So when it's 31 days past, so when it hits 30 days, that's when they send it to the credit bureau, right? So that's why you don't want to go over 30 days past due. When you're 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, or 10 days, or even 25 days past due, the lender is not going to send it to the credit bureau. It stays with the lender internally. They only send it to the bureau once it hits 30 days. So once a late payment, once you miss a payment and it's been 30 days since you last paid that statement, that information now is going to be sent to the credit bureau. So now once that information is sent to the credit bureau, so you were late one time, right, for 30 days, that information is going to stay on your credit bureau for 6 years. So any late payment that you miss, it stays on your credit bureau for 6 years. So that's why it is very, very important that you stay on top of your payment, put it on pre-authorized debit so you don't miss any payment, because once you miss one payment, that one payment will stay on your account for 6 years, right? You may say to yourself, well, that's not fair. Well, that's how the system is. You have to understand how the system is, so that way you can play the game right. So late payment stays on the account for 6 years. A collection account, same thing. So when an account gets sent to a third-party collection agency, meaning that so let's say you have an account with a credit card with Capital One, and then Capital One sent that account to a third-party collection agency. The third-party collection agency, now they will report that account on your credit bureau, and once they report it, that information is going to stay there for 6 years. Okay. A charge-off account, same thing. A charge-off account stays there for 6 years. Now this is very important. I want to break down what a charge-off account is so you understand, because this is how a lot of people get in trouble when it comes to credit card. Credit card is one of the devices that actually gets a lot of people in trouble when it comes to credit, when it comes to credit bureau. So what is a charge-off? This is what a charge-off is. You have to understand this so that way you avoid making this mistake. So this is what a charge-off is. Let's say you missed one payment, which is 30 days late. Okay. If that same payment, if you don't make payment on that same statement for 6 months, right, 180 days, what's going to happen is this: your credit card company on 180 days, they're going to charge off that account, which means they're going to write it off, right? They basically are saying that this account or this debt is uncollectible. It's a lost cause. We cannot collect this debt anymore because this person hasn't made any payment for 6 months. They ran, we don't know where they are. They have not made any payments. So your credit card company, so let's say if it's Capital One, once it reaches 180 days past due, 180 days late, they will charge that off. So that means that they've written that off as an account that is uncollectible because they don't know where you are. They can't find you. They've been trying to get in touch with you. So they will write that off as a charge off, and they will send that information to the credit bureau. That's what a charge off is. Now, when it comes to lending, when it comes to you going for any business funding or any personal lending or any other type of funding that you want to get, when lenders see that there's a charge off on your credit bureau, right, it makes it very, very difficult for you to get any future lending, any future borrowing, any future financial product, because a charge-off basically means you have not made payments on that account for 6 months, and the lender, they cannot reach you, they cannot communicate with you, they don't know who you are. You've missed payment, 6 consecutive payments, or you've missed 6 payments. So you were late for almost 6 months. 6 months you were late, and then the lender just charged that account off. So they charged it off, they wrote it off, they took it off their books. It becomes an uncollectible account, right? And then what they will do now is they will try to sell it now to a third-party collection agency. So once they find a suitable third-party collection agency, they will sell that charge-off account. So that credit card that you did not make payments for 6 months, it's going to go to a third-party collection agency, and that's when that information gets reported on. Now, check this now. You miss one payment, 30 days late, it gets reported and stays there for 6 years. That same 30 days late payment that you miss, it continues on for the next 6 months. So let's say you don't make any payments on that for the next 6 months. What's going to happen is your lender, your credit card company, will charge that off. So now you have a late payment on your account, on your credit bureau. You have a charge-off account on you that's reporting on your credit bureau, and then you have a collection account that's showing on your credit bureau, all from just one credit card that you missed payments on. That's why it is very important that you get on top of your credit card payments, because it's credit cards that gets a lot of people in trouble by missing payments. And in these information, as I mentioned, these information that stay on your credit report for 6 years. One missed payment, 6 years. A collection account, 6 years. A charge-off account, 6 years. Now, there's nothing worse than a lender, right? A late payment, if you've been late for a payment for 1 month, or let's say just for 30 days, a lender can work with you. But once they see that account has been charged off, once they see that this account has been sent to collection agency, that's when it becomes more difficult, more of a challenge. That's when you start, you have to begin that credit repairing process to start either removing these information from your credit profile or talking to the lender. Now, when an account, once your lender charges off that account, it's off their book. So which means now they've sold that account, they've sold that credit card, right? So let's say you had a credit card for $5,000 and you didn't make a payment on it. You missed one payment for $100, right? And then that $100 payment ended up, for 6 months you didn't make any payments. So the lender now, they will charge that off. They will sell that to a third-party collection agency. Now, once it's sold to a third-party collection agency, now you can't deal with the lender anymore. So let's say if Capital One was the one that gave you the credit card, or let's say if it was MBNA that gave you the credit card. So now you got to deal with the collection agency. So you got to figure out, you got to call the collection agency to negotiate either a settlement or an installment or something, so that way they can send you a pay for delete letter so they can remove that information from your credit bureau. Now, this is very, very important. Very, very important. Once you reach out to these collection agency that bought your file, let's say from the lender. So let's say they bought your file from TD. You had the credit card with TD, and TD charged it off. They sold it to a third-party collection agency. Now you have to deal with the third-party collection agency. Now you have to figure out a way to come up with some sort of agreement, a negotiation. Now, anytime you're dealing with a third-party collection agency, you always want to get stuff in writing. You always want to tell the collection agency to send you stuff on paper, to send it to you by mail. Why? It is very important, because when a collection agency calls you, first of all, you don't know who this collection agency is. They're calling you to tell you that, you owe them money and so on. So you don't know that for sure. So what the best way to do this, tell the collection agency to send you a letter, right? Always get everything in writing. Tell them to send, so you can verify these debt, right? Now, once you, so let's say you get that letter, and then you verify that, okay, you do own this debt. So what you want to do now is you want to make sure, before you make any payments on that account, on that collection account, that you tell the collection agency if they can write you a pay for deletion letter, which means you're willing to make the payment. You either make a one-time payment, or you make an installment payment for the next 6 months or next 3 months, 3 payments. But the collection agency, tell them to give you a pay for deletion letter, which means that you are agreeing, or you are willing to make the payment. In return, you want the collection agency to take the information off your credit bureau, right? Because remember, information stays on your credit bureau for 6 years. So let's say you do end up paying a collection account. even if you pay that collection account, that information will still stay there for 6 years. That's why you want to be able to talk first with the collection agency and tell them, hey, I want to make a payment. I owe this money, right? I'm not running away. I know that I owe the money, right? But I want you to write me a pay for deletion letter, which says that I'm going to make the full payment, or I'm going to make installments in the next 3 months, or in the next 5 payments. But I want you to send me a letter that says that once I make that payment, or once I complete that payment, that you will get the information of my credit bureau. Very important, because let's say you do end up making that payment, that now you don't owe anything anymore, but that information is still reporting on your credit bureau, because lenders, when they see your credit profile, they're not looking at the amount that you owe, they're just looking at the collection account. All they see is collection. They're just seeing, oh, this person went to collection. So they're not looking, oh, he owed $100 or he owed $50, because that's not what they're looking. They're just looking at, oh, your collection, okay, you got sent to collection, your account got charged off. Well, you know what, we cannot extend your credit because you're in collection, your account got charged off. No, you got to think about this in the perspective of the lender. Very important, right? Let's say you want to borrow money from a bank, right? But on your credit report, it's showing that 5 years ago you had an account that was charged off with another bank. So let's say bank number one, you had a credit card with them 5 years ago, and that account was charged off. Now, remember what I said about a charge-off account. A charge-off means you missed payments for 6 months, and the credit card company or the lender, they wrote that off. They basically took it out of their books, and that account is no longer collectible. So now, when an account is charged off, and you're going to go apply for another account or another credit card or another form of lending or another form of loan, the lender that you're going for, when they see that you've been charged off, they look at you and say, wow, you have an account that was charged off, which means you didn't make payments on that account for 6 months, and now you want to apply, you want us to give you more money, or you want us to give you another credit card? It's not happening. Why? Because when they see that an account is charged off, basically it means that you did not make payments on that account for 6 months. You defaulted on that loan, right? And that's creditors or lenders, they don't want to see that. They don't want to see you defaulting. They don't want to see any charge off. They don't want to see any bankruptcy. They want on your credit profile. So that's why you have to know this information in terms of how long information stays on your credit report. Late payment stays on your credit report for 6 months. Oh, sorry, not 6 months. 6 years. 6 years. A late payment will stay on your credit report for 6 years. Collection account, same thing. 6 years. A charge-off account, it stays on your credit report, credit profile. Now, there's 2 credit bureaus that I mentioned. There's Equifax and TransUnion. So these lenders, whoever you have that credit card with, whoever you have that personal loan with, they will send this information to both of these, credit bureaus. So they will send it to Equifax, and then they will also send it to TransUnion. So now on both of your accounts, or on both of your credit profile, now it's showing TransUnion that you had a charge-off account, and on Equifax you also had a charge-off account. So all in all, to say, if you're in the process of repairing, if you're in the process of fixing your credit, the first thing you want to do is pull your credit report from these 2 credit bureaus, Equifax and TransUnion. Don't get it from a third-party company. A third-party company is like Credit Karma and Boral. These are what you call a third-party app, right? They get the information from Equifax. You want to get the information from the source. And who's the source? Equifax is the source when it comes to credit reports. And then TransUnion is also the source. So you want to get your credit report, right? Because remember, you are in the process. You want to fix your credit. You want to repair your credit, right? The first step is to get your credit information. See what's on your credit profile from Equifax and TransUnion. That's the only way you will know what needs to be repaired, because maybe there's some information in there that's been there for more than 6 years that's already dropped off, right? Or maybe there's some information in there that's been there for 6 years, and maybe there's only 1 year left, and you have to make a decision. Okay, should I just pay it off, or should I just leave it, let that information just drop off? Why? Because as I mentioned, information stays on your credit report for 6 years, right? Depending on what kind of information is it. So if it's a late payment, 6 years, collection account, 6 years, a charge-off account, 6 years, Bankruptcy, 6 years. Consumer proposal, 3 years. A judgment is 6 years. So a judgment is when you get sued, right? Somebody takes you to court and there's a judgment on you, right? So 6 years. And then hard inquiry. So a hard inquiry is every time you apply for credit. So every time you apply for a credit, if you apply for, let's say, a car loan, a credit card, a mortgage, and so on, so you get what's known as a hard inquiry on your credit profile, and that information stays there. It stays there for 3 years, right? And then after the 3 years, it just drops off. So all the information, when it hits that 6-year mark, it just drops off by itself. So that's why you wanna. The first step is go and check your credit profile with Equifax and TransUnion to see what's in there, and then depending on what's in, then begin the disputing process. Right now, when you're disputing any inaccuracy or any information that is inaccurate or should not be on your credit profile, what you want to do is you want to go to these two credit bureaus, Equifax and TransUnion. As I mentioned earlier, you got to print the form. There's a form that they usually put out, and then you fill in those information, and then you describe what it is that you want to dispute, and then you mail that. You certify mail that document, right? So certify it. Don't fax it. Don't send it by email. You certify that. Send it to them, both TransUnion and Equifax, because these are the two credit bureaus. And then from there, that's when the dispute process will begin. Now, usually, according to the credit bureaus, they have up to 30 days for them to verify that information. They will investigate. They'll do their own investigation to see if that information actually is inaccurate. And then once they once they conclude with the investigation and they figure out that, okay, this information should not be there, then they will remove that information from your credit profile. Now, usually, as I mentioned, it takes anywhere from 20 to 30 days for the whole process. So that's why you have to know first what's on your credit profile, right? Check your TransUnion and check your Equifax so you can get the the information, and then you can begin with the disputing process. And as I mentioned, when you're dealing with collection agencies, it's very important that you always get things in writing. Don't call. And no, if you call or if they call you, always tell them for them to send you, to send you a summary in writing. So to send you a validation letter, meaning that you actually own that, right? Because as I mentioned, when it comes to collection, there's a lot of collection agencies that are not registered. There's a lot of collection agencies that are scams. There's a lot of collection agencies that are, as I mentioned, they're not legitimate. So you want to make sure you're speaking to the right collection agency that is registered with the province that whatever you are, right? So that's why you always want to get everything in writing first before you make any payment. Get the writing that summarizes that what you owe and stuff like that, and then you verify it to make sure that it's actually right, that you actually owe that debt. And once you figure out that you owe that debt, then that's when you can begin the negotiation process with the collection agency. And as I mentioned, always ask the collection agency for them to send you a pay for deletion letter, which means that you are going to make a payment, whether it's a settlement, a one-time payment, or you're going to make installment payments to basically clear that debt. And you're asking them to send you a letter that will say that, okay, upon paying my full debt, that the collection agency now will take the information. They will delete the information from the credit report, right? Because collection account stays there for 6 years. You don't want to make a payment and then that information is still there for the next 6 years, right? You want to be able to make that payment and then let the collection agency to delete that information from your credit report. So very important that you get that letter, get that in writing. You tell them, hey, you know what? I've acknowledged that, okay, it is my debt. I'm willing to make a payment, but before I make any payment, right, send me some letters. I want to make sure that once I make the full payment, once I make once I clear out the debt, that you will delete this information from my credit report, because you want that information gone. That's what you want. You don't want that information to stay. You want that information to be deleted from your credit report. So I'm going to keep it short here. I think I'm going to end it here. So, but as I mentioned, two credit bureaus in Canada, Equifax and TransUnion. You have to know that you pull your information from these two credit bureaus. Okay, so until then, I'm going to continue giving us some more information to help you on this journey for you to begin to repair your credit so that you can, get your peace of mind back, right?